lead us off.
Thanks, Roger. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Strengthening Families Training Institute. My name is Brenda Stanley, and I'm the board chair of the Idaho Children's Trust Fund. I want to thank all of you for joining us and for your continued support of this conference, and more importantly, your passion and your dedication to the children of Idaho. Watching those slides go by and talking about what we want to do when the pandemic lets up. I'm not going to say when it's over, but that's one of the things I really hope to see very, very soon is to be able to hold this conference in a way that we can be together in person. Until then, I'm so grateful for the people who have worked so hard to make this socially distanced conference work. There are so many people behind the scenes, and it is through their talents that we're able to be here and share the speakers and information with you over the next 3 days. I'd like to introduce our board and staff.
Right.
The Children's Trust Fund board consists of representatives from each of our regions, as well as members who represent state agencies. Richard Jervelin represents Region 1. He's in Coeur d'Alene. Charlotte Waters represents Region 2 in Lapwai. Dahlia Stender is our representative in Region 3 in Caldwell. Robin Allen represents Region 4 in Boise. Jill Andrus is our vice chair. She represents Region 5 in Jerome. I represent Region 6. I'm here in Blackfoot. Janet Goodliff represents Region 7, and she's in Rexburg. And Jen Hadid represents the Department of Health and Welfare. Cheryl George is our representative out of the Attorney General's office. And Shannon Dunstan represents the Department of Education. And our staff, Taryn Yates is our grant manager and planner. Tabor Martin is our administrative assistant. And of course, Roger Sherman is our executive director of the Idaho Children's Trust Fund. Thank you again for being here. I'll send it back to you, Roger.
Well, I'm going to send it over to Joshua Wickard to welcome us on behalf of the Children at Risk Task Force.
Thank you very much, Roger, and thank you very much to the Strength and Family Training Institute. My name is Joshua Wickard. I'm the chairman of the Governor's Task Force for Children at Risk, and it is an extreme pleasure and honor for us to have partnered with the Strengthening Family Training Institute with the conference. The Children at Risk Task Force, we are a multidisciplinary team, and our job is to look at the judicial handling and investigation of child protection cases. And so partnering with the Children and Family Institute really makes a lot of sense in lots of ways, because when they are working on the preventative aspect, we are working on the response to child protection cases and criminal cases when in dealing with children. So it is something that we take a lot of pride in terms of trying to improve outcomes for children. But it cannot be missed that improving outcomes for children really starts from a lot of those preventative measures and trying to get into these families and help individuals improve their situations through everything they've got going on. My task force, we are able to provide quite a bit of things to the community. One of the big things that we have is access to funds through grant programs that we are able to distribute to those in the Idaho area. For example, what we have done in the past is we've provided funds for the various children. Let's see what I wanted to say Children Fatality Review Team, but that's one of the teams that we govern, the Child Advocacy Centers. Thank you. The Child Advocacy Centers is something that we are able to provide photographic equipment to just whatever their needs may be. They've sent us grant requests to be able to do that. The other way that we've been able to provide funds to those in Idaho in terms of improving the investigation of cases is to pay for training, to either bring someone in to help train an organization, or we will send individuals to some of the national conferences so that they have an opportunity to learn and grow and take that back to their area. And it's something that we are happy to do. We are currently in our grant cycle. The grant cycle will, this one will, the deadline is April 5th, but after that we're still accepting grants for any other purposes that you think will fit within your within the investigation and judicial handling of child protection and abuse cases. So again, we are very honored to have this opportunity to work with the Strengthening Family Training Institute. Roger and I have chatted over the years, and I'm not exactly sure why we never made the connection to start putting our group together, but I think it was probably the last conference back in DC where there was a big emphasis on working together and a big emphasis on expanding your influence and bringing in other groups. And although we're not allowed to do preventative measures, it doesn't mean that we can't work with those groups that do. And so I can just say that we are incredibly pleased and excited, and we're hopeful that there'll be many more conferences in the future where we're able to collaborate, where we're able to improve these situations for families and children throughout the state of Idaho. So welcome to the conference on behalf of Cardiff. And if you have any other questions and you'd like to know more about the Children at Risk Task Force, the website is idcartf.org, so idahocardiff.org, and we would be happy to hear from you in our capacity, and we wish you the very best during this virtual conference. And like many of us, we all hope to be back in person soon enough to do these things in the future. Thank you, and have a wonderful next few days.
Thanks, Joshua. Yeah, looking forward to our continued partnership in this work. So as we gather together, so I'm Roger Sherman. Somebody years ago said, that guy who is leading never introduced himself. And so I'm going to make sure that I do that in case So I'm Roger Sherman. I'm the director of the Idaho Children's Trust Fund, which is the state affiliate of Prevent Child Abuse America. So as we gather together, even virtually, we want to begin with a land acknowledgement, a recognition that the land upon which our homes exist is the ancestral land of the Shoshone, Bannock, Nez Perce, Kootenai, Coeur d'Alene, and Paiute tribes who inhabited a vast region, including much of Idaho. And we acknowledge the ancient tribes whose names have been lost in history. We offer this acknowledgement as a recognition of the longer history of the land and the generations of children who grew up on it. We offer it as an uncomfortable truth. May this truth discomfort us as we work towards healing. So I've found over the years that our time together seems like it's both heavy and hopeful. I trust you will find our message of prevention more hopeful than heavy. I'm hoping that is the case. The theme for this Strengthening Families Training Institute, as you've seen in the brochures and so on, is becoming mandated supporters, with a subtitle of creating a 21st century child well-being system. The subtitle comes from an invitation from the Children's Bureau at the federal level to rethink the idea of child welfare and to start thinking of a child well-being system. A new initiative called Thriving Families, Safer Children will allow all of us to start thinking about how such a system might look. What would you like to see in that kind of a system? Who should be involved in it? Who shouldn't be involved in it, since all of us really do have a stake in the well-being of children? Our SFTI this year is in collaboration with the Governor's Children at Risk Task Force, as Joshua said, whose task is to look at what happens when we don't prevent abuse or neglect in the first place. As we look at the idea of a child well-being system, we need all of us. We will need the continuum from prevention to intervention. We will also need to break down the walls between the community and agencies and programs, because again, we need all of us, parents and grandparents, schools, Head Start, health and welfare, churches, community-based programs, law enforcement, and judges, sharing the same goal of thriving families and safer children. Actually, you know, I think we already share the goal. What we haven't figured out is how to work together and to make sure all those pieces fit together. I hope these next couple of days will help us move closer to that goal. A colleague of ours in Arizona, Claire Luge with the Prevent Child Abuse Arizona, challenged all of us in the field to rethink our own roles. She asks, what if we considered ourselves not just mandated reporters, but also mandated supporters? What if we got ahead of the problem of child abuse? What if we considered it our duty as community members to support families the best we can so that they can support children the best they can? And how do we, in whatever role we play, address abuse and neglect? We start with where we are and who we are. We connect with the families in our community. We give ourselves the mandate to be supporters. So let that sink in a little bit. Think on that as we move through the next few days. What can you do? What can we do? What are you already doing to support families, to support children, to support and build communities that strengthen all families, to support policy and practices that do the same thing? What does it mean? What does it mean to be a mandated supporter? So I'm sure most of you have seen and have been moved by the poem that Amanda Gorman read at the presidential inauguration. I've taken to reading poems these days at the beginning of the Strengthening Families Training Institute, so I was looking at some of hers. And so as I start out, I've taken a piece of another poem she wrote called The Gathering Place, which I thought fit our time together. I hope you do too. Here, our great gathering place, a space on hot, laughing earth, where we stretch room for others beside us, where closed doors are far too tight for the giant that is hoped to grow. Every idea an open sea, every voice a boat voyaging the bank of blue. These are the types of villagers we are. We eat away our hunger with appetite for goodness. We breathe rivers into throats with our voices for change. Today, in the spine of this meeting ground, new city, new village, we've reached a summit and we are ready to loudly name another. This be hope, this be home, we are hope, we are home, we be vigilant, we be united, we be good, we do good, we are good, as we should in the place where a millennium stood for what we understood was right. On the corner of Hope and Drive, under the question of open sky, sprawls our great gathering site. In this village, we make the globe a little smaller so we can dream bigger, so the dream need not wait. Here in this gathering, we do good so that the world might be great. I know we are virtual, but maybe that just makes our village a little bigger than that space they were in when she wrote the poem. Thank you for all the good you do so that the world might be great. I think now I'm going to turn it over to Austin, right? Is that where we are? Turn it over to Austin to tell us a little bit about our about the technology and just make sure everybody has everything they need to be able to watch this smoothly.
Hi all, I am Austin from 84 Agency, and I'm just going to real quick run through a couple of the Zoom tools to note. So we are here to make sure that any tech support issues get dealt with and to make sure your all's technology runs smoothly. So if you have any tech issues throughout the conference, feel free to message either myself or my other colleagues from 84 Agency. Cam is on the call with us this morning. We'll have several other colleagues throughout the conference, and we'll all have our names. Will say 84 Agency, so you know you can contact us for tech support. So real quick, I'm just going to go over some of the basics of the Zoom menu bar. You've got your mute button and your start and stop video button. We do ask that you keep yourself muted unless you're actively speaking, just so that we can focus on whoever's speaking. But if you'd like to keep your camera on so that we can see who all's in the conference, that would be great. We understand that some folks, you got other things going on, or you're not comfortable having your camera on for whatever reason. So, whatever your preference for that is, we totally understand. If you click here, you can switch between gallery and speaker view. So, if you want to focus on the person who's talking, you can go to speaker view. If you want to see everyone watching and see their reactions, you can watch in gallery view. And then your chat, you can toggle your chat on and off here. So if you have a question for the whole group, you could chat to everyone, or you could chat to a specific person. For example, if you need tech support, you would chat either myself or Cam directly. If we are screen sharing, you may not see this toolbar, but you should see a green little green bar that says you are viewing so-and-so screen. If you click on that, or if you move your mouse over that, it'll bring up your full toolbar so you can mute, unmute, etc. Hey, sorry, was I muted through all of that?
No, just for a second, couple of seconds.
Sorry about that. You can toggle your chat on and off, and then when you're screen sharing, or if someone else is screen sharing, you'll see a little green bar that says you're viewing such and such a screen. If you click on that, or move your mouse over that, it'll bring up your full toolbar. And again, to find the schedule for the conference and presenter bios and Zoom links, you can get those on Padlet. Cam will drop the link to Padlet in the chat now. I think that's pretty much everything for my tech talk, so I will pass it back to Roger.
Thanks, Austin. So the last piece before we move into the keynote is a little bit of self-care. So Kristin, if you're available to get us started there.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can't see you, I don't think.
Okay, well, I see me, so.
Oh, I see you.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to day one of the Strengthening Families Training Institute. I'm so happy to be here with you and helping to facilitate some of these self-care breaks over the next few days. My goal with these breaks will just be to encourage you to take some time to take care of you. It's been a crazy year and life is busy, so I think one of the most valuable ways we can spend our time is to just check in with ourselves as we need to. So I'd like to begin this morning by inviting us to get settled in, get comfortable, do what you need to do. And as a way of getting present, maybe we can take a few deep breaths together. So I'm going to lead us in, we don't have much time, so maybe just 3 deep breaths. Big breath in through the nose and hold it. And gently let it go. Exhale through the mouth. A big deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. Exhale gently. And one more big deep breath in. And exhale gently. And remind yourself to take these breaths as you need them. And as we begin our morning, I'd like to invite you to just think of the next few days and what you'd like to get out of this time. I find it useful to set intentions for my time. And so if you'd like to just take a little bit and think about what you're hoping for to get out of the conference. So just to share with you some of my intentions for the next few days, I'm gonna really use this time to be present and connect with people who are in my field. I'm missing being with my people in person. So I'm gonna be really try and connect and be present with them in this way. And then I'm going to be open to learning new things and seeing things from a different perspective, and practice gratitude for all of the hard work that's being done by everyone here. Everyone's making a big difference in the world, and I'm grateful about that. So if it's helpful for you to take some time, set an intention or a few intentions for the next few days. And I welcome everybody again. And just remember throughout the next few days to take some time to care for you. Okay.
Thanks, Kristin.
You're welcome.
Kristin will be back. I just want to point out that from the results of the poll, we've decided that Wednesday, when we do our group picture, it is going to be Crazy Blue Day. We're not going with that St. Patrick's green thing. We're going with our theme of blue. So remember to just get your craziest blue thing going on for Wednesday morning when we take a picture. Teresa Uhlenkott, who, if some of you remember from last fall, had giant pinwheels in her hair and a fantastic headdress, says that she's up for more this year. So competition is stiff. All right.